So if you've been in product for any amount of time, you know the classic team: the product manager, the engineer, and the designer. But that trio, it's starting to break down. In the world of AI, a whole new team structure is taking over, and it's fundamentally changing how we build products. And this right here, this is the core of the problem, isn't it? You, the product manager, are laser-focused on user needs, but you're stuck in the middle. Your data scientist is going on about data distributions, and your ML engineer is deep in the weeds with training jobs. You're all speaking different languages, and if you can't translate, the entire project can fall apart.
So, to really get why this new team is so critical, let's just quickly look back at the team we're all familiar with, the classic software trio.
And hey, this model has served us incredibly well for a long time. You've got the product manager who owns the what and the why. What problem are we solving? Why does it matter to the user and the business? Then you have the engineer who figures out how to actually build the thing. And of course, the designer who owns the look and feel, making sure it's all intuitive and, not a total headache to use. Okay, so that's the team we all know. But here's the thing. AI isn't just another feature you can bolt on. It's a fundamental disruption, and it completely shatters this traditional model. This slide gets to the absolute heart of it. Traditional software is what we call deterministic. If you click a button, the exact same thing happens every single time. But AI is probabilistic. It makes educated guesses. It gives you probabilities, not certainties. And that one little difference changes absolutely everything. And this new landscape, well, it throws a ton of new challenges at product managers. You're not just dealing with bugs anymore, you're dealing with hallucinations, where the model gives you an answer that sounds totally plausible, but it's just completely made up. Suddenly, you've got infinite edge cases. And your acceptance criteria? It can't be a simple pass or fail anymore. It becomes, well, how often is it right? And how bad is it when it's wrong? And data quality becomes the absolute bedrock of your entire product. This creates a massive capabilities gap. Some industry analysis shows that a staggering 85% of product managers say they just don't have the specific skills needed to properly evaluate these new, complex AI products. It's a whole new ballgame with a totally different set of rules.
So, to tackle these new challenges, a new team has emerged, one that's purpose-built for the age of AI. So let's meet the AI product trio.
First, you've got the AI product manager. This role is still the strategic leader, the captain of the ship. But now they have to balance that product vision with a real, genuine understanding of how AI works. They're the one who connects the crazy power of the technology to an actual user problem and a business model that makes sense. Think about the PM for Netflix's recommendation engine. They need to get what makes a great movie night, sure, but they also have to understand how the algorithm's accuracy impacts user retention.
Next up is the data scientist. I like to think of them as the explorers. They are the masters of the raw material, the data. Their whole job is to look at the data you have and figure out what is even possible. They ask the big question: what story can our data actually tell us? They're the ones who might discover that, say, a user's watch history is a way better predictor of what they'll watch next than what they explicitly put on their watch list.
And rounding out the trio is the machine learning engineer. This is your builder. They take the potential insights that the data scientist uncovers and they operationalize them. They're the ones who actually build, train, and deploy the models that turn a cool theory into a real, functional feature that millions of users can interact with. They make it all work at scale.
So let's put it all together. The AI PM still owns the why. What problem are we solving? The data scientist owns what's possible. What can our data tell us? And the ML engineer owns the how. How do we actually build this and make sure it doesn't fall over? It's three really distinct but deeply interconnected roles.
Okay, so you've got these highly specialized experts on your team. What does that mean for the product manager? Well, your role has to evolve. You become less of a soloist and more of a critical translator, a conductor for the entire team. I love this metaphor. The PM is the conductor of an orchestra. They might not be the best violinist or the best percussionist on the team, but they're the only one with the full sheet music. They're the one who unifies all these brilliant individual experts to create a single, harmonious piece of music. It's their job to make sure the data scientist's insights and the ML engineer's model are perfectly in tune with the user problem. And a huge part of conducting is translation. Your data scientist might tell you the model has low confidence for this query. Okay, what does that mean? Your job is to translate that for stakeholders, saying, there's a risk of inaccurate results for this key user segment, which could impact our Q3 goals. You have to bridge that gap between the technical reality and the business strategy.
All right, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually lead this team to success? Let's walk through an actionable playbook.
First, and this is so important, always start with the user problem, not with some cool new AI model you want to play with. Second, you have to interrogate the data alongside your data scientist. Really understand its limits. What can it actually tell you? Third, you have to map out the user experience for this new probabilistic world. Plan for when the AI gets it right, sure, but more importantly, design a graceful way for the user to recover when it inevitably gets it wrong. And finally, plan for imperfection. Build in feedback loops, things like a "was this helpful" button, so your product gets smarter with every single interaction. But even with all of this new complexity, the fundamental goal hasn't changed. As Ben Horowitz famously said, at the end of the day, successful product managers ship products. The goal is still to deliver real value to users by balancing that tricky relationship between time and quality. So I'm going to leave you with one question to take back to your own work. Look at your roadmap, at that very next feature. Is it a clearly defined problem for an engineer to build? Or is it actually a question that a data scientist needs to answer first? Knowing the difference, that's the secret to succeeding with the AI product trio.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.